Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are here for episode number 76. Whoa, no, I honestly didn't think we'd get this far, but we are here and we are still chugging along. And speaking of 726, it's night 7 of the All In Grand Prix. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? This is our tournament, it's been chaos. We've got a bunch of fatigued wrestlers, but they're still putting the numbers in. So, you know, why stop now? Well, I mean, we can't because we've got another 5 nights at least of the All In Grand Prix. And as always, we are joined by our Grand Prix team of Renee Paquette, RJ City, and Paul White, who kick off the show with their thoughts, their opinions, and everything. But we don't give a shit about that. All we care about is the amazing wrestling that we're going to see and, you know, the points that people are going to earn and the points that people are not going to earn, because, you know, there doesn't have to be a winner. There can be draws. So yeah, as we all know, it's 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 points if you lose. And at the end of each episode, we will summarize the points total. If you head to the description right now, you will see the match card for tonight. And in the brackets next to the names of the competing wrestlers, you will see their current points. But yeah, I think that covers everything. Let's head straight into the show with our exhibition trios match. And this one includes Will Ospreay, Drew Galloway and Nick Jackson taking on Hangman, Adam Page, Bryan Danielson and Prince Devitt. So in about that had superb wrestling, my favourite word, and good heat. It is the team of Ospreay, Galloway and Nick Jackson that get the win. Very interesting. I would not have put my money on that team. When Drew Galloway pins Prince Devitt with a Claymore kick. Devitt was the weak link. Wow. I mean, looking at the numbers down here, Jesus Christ. An 86 from Nick, an 89 from Drew, an 89 from Will, a 77 from Prince Devitt, which is still great, a 93 from Bryan, and an 88 from Hangman. And of course, I mean, there's no surprise that Drew Galloway won with good old Jake Roberts ringside, you know, whispering sweet nothings, giving Drew that extra incentive. I mean, I don't know what Jake Roberts is doing, but it's working. So in my opinion, you know, we've got the storyline on Dynamite right now as to whether FTR should join him or not. I think they should, but it's not down to me, it's down to FTR. But yeah, got the show to a strong start. That's what these opening matches are all about. And also, to keep it fair, everyone's having the same number of matches every single night, whether it be in this exhibition match or your one-on-one block matches. Speaking of block matches though, I believe our first block match of the night is CM Punk's first match in the Grand Prix. Sounds weird, we're at night 7 and it's his first match, but that's because he has replaced Jay White. If you didn't see on Dynamite, he had confirmed. He spoke to Nigel McGuinness and Tony Khan and they both agreed and said, instead of just dropping or forfeiting the points, let's replace him. So our first match is Bandido taking on CM Punk. Let's go. 75. Oh, they don't click at all, that's why. Nothing to do with the competitors, they just don't click. But in about that had good heat and decent wrestling though. CM Punk gets his first win of the tournament. Oh, in 18:38. That's cutting it a bit close, CM Punk. You're going to want to have shorter matches if you're going to be lasting the rest of this tournament. But Punk gets the win. So that means that Punk adds to Jay White's totals. Just to avoid any confusion, it will say CM Punk in the current standings from now on. But as Punk said, all of his points do contribute towards Jay White. If Punk did win the Grand Prix, it is not Punk going to All Out, it would be Jay White. Just want to make that clear now, just in case people are just watching the Grand Prix matches and they're not watching Dynamite. That was all that was confirmed in Dynamite. But yeah, a win for Punk and a loss for poor Bandido. I think he's still sitting on those 2 points that he got from a Juice Robinson forfeit. So technically not won a match. But a 75, not the best compared to what we normally get, but it's still green, which means it's still good. And it got the crowd hotter, so can't complain. Following this though, we should have another match. Obviously, that's all we've got left. And it is Keith Lee and Jeff Cobb. And again, why is it so low? What's that about? Keith, Jeff Cobb is 74. That's probably why it's so low. Keith Lee with a 93. And of course, it is Keith Lee getting the win. He defeats Mr. Inform, Jeff Cobb. But Keith Lee, let's be honest, he's Mr. Inform. He has been a monster since the beginning of this Grand Prix. I don't know if Keith has lost yet. He must have. Because he's not on the same points as Volta. My mind's gone blank. Yeah, either way, Keith Lee, I believe that this takes him into double figures now. I believe Keith Lee is on 10 points and sitting pretty at the top of Block B. But let's continue because an 80 rating is not great. This is not good so far. This might be our worst night yet. So let's see if the next match can prove us wrong. Okay, that is more like it. An 86 in a bout that had superb wrestling, my favourite word, and good heat. Of course it is. Volta continues his domination when he defeats Miro in 12 minutes with the rear naked choke. Miro not submitting, but passing out because, you know, these are two big lads, two really tough guys. And Miro refusing to tap, but instead passes out. And looking at the in-ring ratings, 89 apiece. Miro really stepping up. Wow. And they've got pretty good chemistry. So this is definitely a big hoss fight that we are going to have to revisit in the future. But Volta continuing his undefeated streak. I believe he's now on 12 points. Really storming ahead in the A block. I mean, at this point, I don't think anyone can catch him. I mean, they probably can if Volta now loses the rest of his matches. But I think the A block is Volta's. An 86 rated match here. Pretty good. Best of the night. Can anyone top it? Let's continue with the show. And no, not yet. An 84 and about that had superb wrestling again, apparently. Roosh and Jon Moxley drew. Wow, when the time limit expired. They've got great chemistry, apparently. 84 though, do they? Moxley with a 98, a near perfect performance, but it wasn't enough to defeat Roosh in the time limit. The time limit bell did go as the Bulldog choke was in place, but Roosh, being the tough motherfucker that he is, refusing to tap and allowing the time limit to expire, meaning that these guys share the point, 1 point apiece, which is great for Roosh, I'd say. You know, he's kind of sitting near the bottom of the table, but not so great for Jon Moxley because that means Keith Lee now peels ahead at the top of the table. 84 rating match. I mean, what's up with these match ratings? They're all a little bit, you know, right now. Let's hope that our main event, which I believe is Pac and Kenny Omega, you know, really picks up the pace. But let's carry on with this night. And we got a backstage segment. CM Punk is on the phone to Jay White, just saying, "Hey, Jay, how you doing? You relaxing? You good? Is your leg up? Is it resting? Yeah, got the win. Did you see? You did? Awesome. You know, this is all for you, man. You know, us Bullet Club guys, we've got to stick together. Yeah, all of these wins are going to be for you. I'm going to go undefeated and we are going to win the Grand Prix. Just got to get past Volta first, which, you know, everyone's eyes are on Volta. But yeah, just thought I'd check in, making sure you're okay. And yeah, speak to you soon. So yeah, CM Punk being a little bit weird here, you know, just giving a little phone call to Jay White, just being like, "Hey man, how you doing?" So yeah, definitely playing the face here, which is nice to see. You know, good guy Punk. It seems that Jay White has made the right decision in rejoining Bullet Club Gold. 99 rated segment. It's CM Punk talking. Of course, it's going to be a 99. But yeah, let's head back to the ring and see what match is up next. Darby Allin and Zack Sabre Jr. again. What's with these low ratings? I mean, okay. In about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. It is Zack Sabre Jr. that picks up the win. The man that got the win over Jay White that caused an injury. So maybe there was a little apprehension on Darby Allin's side. Lack of psychology here, which sucks a little. But it is Zack Sabre Jr. that wins with the submission using an orienteering with napalm death. Do you know what? Zack Sabre Jr. has the best names for moves ever. Barry from EastEnders being one of my favourite. But yeah, Zack Sabre Jr. getting the win. I think this takes him to 6 points now, maybe. So yeah, he's definitely climbing up. Of course, Volta's steaming ahead. So it might be more of a battle for second place. Not that that gets you anything, But hey ho, an 88 from Zack, which is great. 76 from Darby, which isn't the best. Sting was ringside here, doing some good work. It's annoying because this night of matches, it's very much a really good performance against a subpar performance. Like Roosh was in the 70s, Moxley was in the 90s, Zack Sabre Jr. here, high 80s, Darby in the 70s, Keith Lee in the 90s, Jeff Cobb in the 70s. You know, we need some high-rated people like Miro and Volta. But yeah, let's carry on. I think the next match is Matt Cardona's. And yeah, it is 82, just straight in. Juice Robinson and Matt Cardona, and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Matt Cardona gets another win. I think he's now on 6 points too. He defeats Juice Robinson in just under 9 minutes with the Rough Rider. And of course, what's his face? MJF is ringside supporting his best bro. Matt Cardona with the 80, Juice Robinson with the 76. Juice still yet to get that win. Will he get one? Who bloody knows? We will have to tune in to all of the nights to find out. And post-match, of course, MJF jumps the barricade yet again, celebrating. He picks up Matt Cardona, hoists him onto his shoulders, and just says, "This is the man. This is the guy, my best bro." And Steph DeLander is just there looking like Steph DeLander. I love Steph DeLander. Like, I know it may sound like I maybe don't care that she's there, but there's a reason why, you know, I brought her in, I brought her up, and I put her with Matt. It's just because these two together are amazing. If you haven't seen any of Matt Cardona's stuff on the indies with Steph DeLander, then you're missing out. They're both great. It's not just the Matt Cardona show. Steph adds so much to Matt's character. But yeah, another 99 rated segment. You know, we've got some really great promo guys, so, you know, why not use it? But I believe this now takes us to our main event, Pac, Kenny Omega. Can this save us from a pretty lackluster night? Let's find out. There we go. Well, hold on a second. A 96 and Pac was off his game. Whoa. What could have been? What could have been? But in a bout that had superb wrestling, of course it is. Pac and Kenny Omega, and great heat. It is Kenny Omega who gets the win. He defeats Pac in 17 minutes with the one-winged angel. Which means I believe Kenny is now on joint points with Keith Lee. Kenny losing, I think, in the opening night to Keith Lee, said that he needs to be focused if he's going to win this. And I tell you what, since night 2 onwards, Kenny has been on one hell of a run. So we'll have to wait and see if that does continue, because he's got some big matches ahead of him. But yeah, a 96 rated match to end the show. That's definitely going to help the final score. An 89 from Pac, a 93 from Kenny Omega. You love to see it. So let's see how we did. And yeah, that 96 definitely saved us here. A 93 rated show. Awesome stuff. Can't complain. What I can, let's be honest, some of these matches at 75, 80, 84, 83. Let's just think about it. If these guys clicked, I'd say this would be an 84, 85. I'm going to throw that out there. If Jeff Cobb was a little bit more in form, I think this is an 88. That's what I'm saying. Roosh Moxley, I mean, that in itself should have been an 88, 89. Zack Sabre Jr., Darby Allin, you know what? 83 is fair enough. And 82 for Cardona and Juice is kind of fair enough too. But yeah, 93 overall. Awesome show again. Yeah, not much else to say. It's night 7. We're well over halfway. Well, we're actually just over halfway through this. So let's bring up the scores and see what's happening. Here we go. And looking at the current standings after night 7, Block A is in the lead. Of course it is, with big old Volta with 12 points. Drew Galloway, who did not compete in a block match tonight, is on 8, so he could catch up, you never know. Although their head-to-head means that Volta does have the advantage. Ospreay, Cardona, Punk, and Zack Sabre Jr. all on 6 points here. Obviously, CM Punk is Jay White, or Jay White's points, but you know what I mean. And then Miro, Bandido, Darby Allin, and Juice Robinson all in the bottom half. Miro on 3, Bandido on 2, Darby getting that draw with Miro recently, and Juice Robinson, the only person in the tournament, sitting on 0 points. Heading over to Block B, it's a lot closer. Keith Lee and Kenny Omega are now joint top with 10 points each. Jon Moxley failing to defeat Roosh means that he is now sitting second on 9 points. Pac losing to Kenny Omega means he can't build on top of his wins that he's had recently, remaining on 7. Jeff Cobb started off really strong and has kind of slipped since, sitting on 4 points. Bryan Danielson on 3. Roosh also on 3 now after that draw with the World Heavyweight Champion. And then Paige, Devitt and Jackson did not compete tonight, and they are all sitting on 2 points. All of them, I must imagine, are very desperate to get some more points. But that is it for this one, guys. The next episode will be Night 8, where we will have some more pretty awesome matches. I haven't got any in front of me, but I'm sure it's going to be a little bit better across the board than this one. This one was a little bit lackluster until that baller main event. But yeah, we're getting there. I'm very excited to see the outcome of this entire tournament, how it plays out. And plus, it'll be really interesting to look at the popularity and stats at the end of this tournament, because obviously there's people like Roosh, I'd say Nick Jackson, Darby Allin, Juice Robinson. They're all kind of, Matt Cardona as well, they're all kind of mid-card-ish at the moment. And because they're putting in these 80 plus matches like 4 or 5 times a week, that's definitely going to help the cause of boosting that pop, and it'll be really interesting to see the growth over the next week or so. But that's something that we'll look at maybe at the end of night 12. But right now we're going to end it here. Next episode, night 8. Episode after that is Collision. So yeah, that's it from me. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Bye. Yeah.